What is up, dudes and lady? Dudes are finally back with another deck profile, the first one of 2021. And it's not that this is one of my favorite decks, but it is a deck I've always been interested in. I've always liked how all the monsters in the deck kind of feel like starters slash extenders, which is very, very nice. The deck does have its weaknesses, but it also has a lot of really good strengths as well. We're talking about Crusadia. So shout out to my boy Charles from Team COG. This is like his staple deck, and this is also his mat that I'm kind of like rocking here. If you want to pick it up, I'll leave a link in the description, and also I have a 10% off code. So cool. It has Gearso on this side, and it has Crusadia Equimax on the other side. I'm just now realizing I should have put Equimax face up for this profile specifically, but you know, I'm a dope. So yeah. So without further ado, we're going to be going in. This is my personal take on the Crusadia deck, and hope you guys like it. So starting off with the monsters, of course, you've got all of the Crusadias. You just play them all. I don't care. Like, they're just all good in their own way, and in this order that I'm laying them down is how I perceive them to be in terms of how good they are in this list specifically. So, can't see all of them. Hold on. Let's scoot them on down. All right, so in my opinion, the best one is Arborea in this list because we are using Halki Fibrax, but we're using it to do a cool play, not a standard Halk, like, you know what I mean, general Halk stuff. Crusadia specifically can do some cool plays with it. So Arborea is the best one in my opinion, and the protection effect is pretty nice. Draco is obviously the second best one. It's just a +1. It's just, he's the man. Maximus is nice because he is specifically just level 4, and he allows you to OTK really easily on following turns, or just going second. Reclusia is nice because it can be spot removal to help you play through boards, whether you're in like a kind of a somewhat grindy game, or you're just going second in general. He's a nice card to have. And then Leonis, I mean, you don't really use Leonis' effect, but he does still extend himself, and he can make Magius. So he's still pretty good, honestly. So you max out on these because you want to see at least one of these in every single hand, and we have other ways to even get more access to these cards, but yeah. Alright, next up, the best normal summon in the deck, and this is, I'm sorry Charles, but I'm playing 3 4-month Skipper right now. And I know some people have leaned off 4-month Skipper in the past because it is weak to certain hand traps, but look at the format right now. Like, alright, this card specifically loses to Ogre and Gamma. Those are like the 2 big ones. It's not completely done for versus Impermanence and Veiler. It can still be annoying. But you can still make it work in those instances because you at least still get to keep the body on field, which is really nice. But yeah, I think overall it's just the most powerful like normal summon in the deck. All the Crusadias, they are technically like pseudo normal summons just because they get you into Magius, and Magius gets you pluses. But I felt like 4-month Skipper just was so strong. We're already playing Parallel Exceed in the deck, but this just allows us to get it more consistently, which is just insanely strong. So 3 4-month Skipper. I love this card. I've always liked this card. I think there are other decks it could potentially work in, but its ability to lose to so many hand traps is just tough to want to play it in other decks. But this is a combo deck anyway, so we're trying to like go combo, and he just helps us do that much more efficiently. Next up, we have some more extenders. We've got 2 copies of World Legacy World Crown. Very, very cool card. It kind of just summons itself like a Crusadia to a zone a Link monster points to, and it's a disruption on the field. If your opponent would activate the effect of a monster from the extra deck, you can tribute this card to negate and destroy that. So that's actually a straight-up disruption. I mean, it's not the best, but you pair it with 1 or 2 other disruptions, and you know, that could just be the icing on the cake to allow you to keep your opponent off of what they're trying to do. And then obviously the 3 Parallel Exceed. This just goes with the 4-month Skipper, and it's just great. The deck wants to summon level 3 bodies and level 4 bodies, so level 4s are nice here. And one of the deck's biggest weaknesses is Nibiru, so this allows you to make Nibiru prior to your 5th summon, so that way, or I'm sorry, you can make Rafflesia so that you can negate the Nibiru. Sorry, I'm a little jumbled there. But yeah, it's just insane. If you don't even want to make that, it's just an extender, so still really good. 2 copies of Psychic Wielder and 1 copy of Psychic Tracker here. Just more good stuff. Like, we are playing Emergency Teleport, so you've got a tuner you can summon off it, or a non-tuner, depending on what like your specific situation is, which is very good. But other than that, they're just general extenders. You put a level 3 on board, you get to work. Magius can search you a level 3, and we're already, I think, 3 of the 5 Crusadias are already level 3. Yeah, Arborea, Leonis, and Reclusia are all level 3. So you just have a ton of level 3s in the deck. So getting them on field are like super easy. There, and then for the last extenders, monster-wise, 1 Speedroid Teratop and 1 Speedroid Takatamborg. These are actually like really clean, and I theorized this with Charles actually, talking to him about Crusadia. Was I saw that he was still trying out like the white and black baby dragons, the Chaos Dragons, and I was like, yeah, they're fine, I guess. Like obviously Black Dragon is like really good because Magius is a light, so you put a light like super early into your grave via your combo, so that Black Dragon's an awesome extender, but White Dragon's not. White Dragon's terrible because not only does the deck have 0 darks in the main outside of Plague Spreader, which banishes itself, and I think World Legacy World Crown is a dark, so but that's an unsearchable like 2 of. Other than that, you would have to specifically wait until you go all the way into Ultimaya Zulkin at the end of your combo, because that's like the last thing you do is link off Ultimaya Zulkin for your combo. So I didn't want a card that just like was completely dead until you go full combo. Even though Takatamborg's not as good as opening Teratop, obviously, you do play a ton of lights, right? Like we have like 3 Exceed, which is searchable off of our 4-Mud Skipper. We have Draco, which half the time we're either opening it or searching it off of Magius because it's so good in the deck. And I think that those are the main ones, but pretty, you could easily see that's what, 9 cards plus any time you get to Magius, you might just be searching Draco, which again is a light, and you have extra monsters you're going to go into that are light before you even get to the end of your combo. So he is going to be live much earlier as an extender, which is very good. So these are just awesome. This is just like the best extender to open in your deck apart from a Crusadia monster for your combo, which is just awesome. So they've been working out really good for me. And the last card here, this is a Plague Spreader. I literally have it coming in the mail, but I've been waiting like 2 weeks on it. I just think the mail's being slow right now, just with, current events and such. But yeah, Plague Spreader, it's your tuner off of Halki Fibrax. It's fine to draw, whatever. You just Halk it out of hand and then keep going. You just do your combo with 1 less card in hand, which is fine. But very good, very integral to this specific build. And then you just play Reborn extenders, right? 1 monster Reborn, 3 copies of World Legacy Succession. I only have 1 copy, but obviously play 3 if you can. I think this card is so good, and I'll explain it in a sec, because we also play 2 copies of Living Fossil. So these are cards that allow you to play through Disruption very well in the deck. One of Crusadia's biggest weaknesses is getting their normal summon disrupted, or at least that's what a lot of people think. At least these 2. So this doesn't work because you still have to have the zone opened up by a Link monster. But these 2 are awesome at just getting that body back on field so that you can then just link it into Magius and then continue with your plays. Very good. The really cool thing about Succession, though, is Ultimaya Zulkin, okay? Living Fossil cannot reborn Zulkin because it doesn't have a level, but these 2 can reborn Zulkin. So the cool thing is Zulkin is a soft once per turn, so if you have either of these with another spell or trap and you already were able to go combo, you'd be able to just like Zulkin for a Crystal Wing, then link off the Zulkin, then reborn the Zulkin, set another card, and Zulkin for a second Crystal Wing. So you'd end up with like an Omni Negate, 2 Crystal Wings, and potentially and then a follow-up as well. The other cool thing is that you guaranteed search this if you go combo anyway off of the Crusadia Crawler. So going into your next turn, you're going to guaranteed at least have 1 of these, which means if all you have to do is have any other spell and trap going into your next turn, and you'll be able to just like as an extending play, reborn Zulkin, set a card, get your second Crystal Wing out, which is actually a really nasty follow-up. So even if your board is broken, that's a pretty strong play to be able to do on the crackback, which is just so cool to me. It's one of the reasons I like this version. It's not just wombo combo, end on a million negates. You're going to try and end on a couple negates, not the strongest board of all time, but if it gets broken, you have so much more follow-up in this version than a lot of other versions of Crusadia have ever given you before. So really nice there. A couple other extenders, Emergency Teleport, you got to play it. I mean, just It's just so free. It's just so free. There, 2 Desires. This is definitely a cuttable card because I'm at 42 in this list anyway. I still like it because it is just a +1 and it's a card, like, if you're going second or something, people are going to want to negate it just because they know, like, oh, this could draw you into powerful side deck cards or just draw you into too many extenders for them to be able to disrupt everything. So people will be fearful and try and hit this card, so I like that it's kind of a nice, like, bait card. 1 Rhoda, this is just a 4th copy of Arborea, so just consistency. 1 Crusadia Power and 1 Crusadia Crawler. The Power is really only here because you do get a free search off of Regulex via the combo, so most of the time you're getting Crawler, but if you drew Crawler, you'd still be able to search Power, which is really nice. Just makes your board that much more resilient in the fact that, like, Crusadia Equimax can be so hard to out combined with Power and pointing at a monster that makes it big. So that was my theory there. And if you hard draw it, it just makes it so you can just, like, chain it if your opponent tries to, like, disrupt the Magius. So like that. And the last card I play is a Gravedigger's Trap Hole. This is just for the Rafflesia play off of the blah 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 blah. What's your name? Parallel Exceed. So yeah, that you can negate Nibiru or any other hand trap if you're scared of those. But mainly it's Nibiru. Nibiru is the biggest problem for the deck. So that is that. So 42 in the main. Like I said, I don't think you need Pot of Desires. If you wanted to drop it, you absolutely could. There are other ways to do the combo no matter what card you banish, straight up. So you just, like, adjust slightly what you're going to go for based off of what you banish off the Desires. But like I said, 42 card deck, you could easily just drop those if you didn't feel comfortable with potentially banishing, like, the Plague Spreader. We have other tuners you can summon. They just don't extend you as well as Plague Spreader does. As well as you could hit the Crawler, which again is not the end of the world. It can still be annoying, but not the end of the world, especially if you just already have a spell or trap in hand anyway. You can still get the job done, so it's not the end of the world, never is. There, but that's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra, for the Crusadia stuff, 2 Magius. You got to play more than 1 because a lot of times it's going to get disrupted. 1 Regulex and 1 Equimax. I think it's lame to play a Crusadia list that doesn't play Equimax and, like, actively try to end on him as often as you can. He's an incredible card. He really is. So I really wanted to focus on that. So he is one of the key staples of what, like, the board we try and end on, which is very nice. And yeah, Regulex is good to get Crawler. This just gets you an extender. So all part of the combo. All part of the combo. 1 copy of Halki Fibrax. It's good. I mean, it's Halk, so pretty good. Then for the Synchro package, we play 1 copy of Stardust Charge Warrior, 1 Coral Dragon, 1 Ultimaya Zulkin, and 2 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So just by going through the combo, you're going to make these 2, draw 2 cards as you turn them into a Zulkin. Then you've already searched your Crawler off of Regulex. You set the Crawler, and then that will allow you to summon out the Crystal Wing, and then you should still have Halki Fibrax on the field. So you will link your Zulkin and your Zulkin and your Halk into the Equimax. So you have the Crawler, which is going to summon itself as a Crusadia monster that Equimax can attribute to negate something. So there's a negate there. It's also going to search you a World Legacy Succession on summon, which is also really, really good because that's just awesome follow-up. And you'll have the Crystal Wing. So that's like the basic combos, just getting those 2 negates, but with a little bit of follow-up. And keep in mind, you're drawing 2 while going through the combo as well. So it's just a very resource efficient. It's, like I said, it's not the most insane combo in the world, like negates-wise. You're not ending on 5 negates, but you're ending on a couple with, like, some annoying to out monsters and follow-up. And you've been drawing cards, so you should be in a pretty good spot. A couple other synchros I wanted to play were F.A. Dawn Dragster and Borreload Savage Dragon. These are, I don't know, I have, like, a love-hate relationship with these slots in the deck because you definitely end up in hands where, like, I don't know, maybe you Desires away the Plague Spreader, so you're not super cleanly, you don't have the exact levels you're trying to go into the Charge Warrior and the Coral Dragon with. So you have to, like, make do with what you got. So instead of that, you might end on, like, a Borreload Savage plus the Equimax play, or a Dragster plus the Equimax play, or sometimes you just have, like, an Arborea left over, or what's the guy? Psychic Wielder, or something like a level 3 tuner and a level 4 extender still somewhere on the field. So you just tack him on to the end of like whatever your board was, and it can still work that way plenty fine. So they just come up. I just wish they came up more cleanly, but mainly I think you have to play them just because of those awkward hands, so you can still end on some pretty good disruption. But yeah, they're still nice. And then for like the kind of defensive stuff, one copy. I know the lighting's pretty rough there. Number 75, Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. This card's just mainly there for one purpose, and that purpose is Speedroid Terratop. So if you open Terratop, it's a 1-card rank 3 without your normal summon. So you could literally start by summoning that, Takatamborg, and then making Gossip Shadow. So now this is a Nibiru negate or any hand trap negate, and you just get to play right through, which is pretty good. And then the Rafflesia and the Dweller rounding out the rest of the extra deck. Rafflesia just there for, again, negating Nibiru off of the Parallel Exceed play. And then Dweller is, again, if you, it's just like, it's kind of fills the same slot of like Dawn Dragster and Savage. Is if you have extra monsters, it really just depends on the levels of the extenders you have left over. If you got 2 level 4s, boom, you can make a Dweller. If you've got a level 3 tuner and a level 4, you can make the Dawn Dragster. And if you have like if you're like one extender short of being able to make the Coral Dragon and the Charge Warrior, you can make the Charge Warrior to draw a card, and then you just get the Plague Spreader back, and then you just make those into an 8. So it really just depends on the hand. It really depends what you banish with Desires, and then just look at what you have extender-wise, because it slightly changes things, but it is still, at the end of the day, pretty straightforward with where you end up and how you maneuver your boards. But I like the deck a lot. I really like this route that Charles has showed us in his one of his more recent Crusadia profiles. I like this synchro route. I think it's just like, it's much more my style. If I was going to play a combo deck, I don't want to play a combo deck that makes 5-6 negates. I like combo decks like this. You make 2 to 3-ish negates or disruptions. Combined with the fact that you're going to draw 2 cards while doing it, so very resource efficient, and you search a Crusadia or a World Legacy Succession on your opponent's turn for follow-up, and then you just crank it out from there. You also have like powerful things in Crusadia. Naturally is a pretty good going second strategy, so you just have to side in like going second packages like Kaijus and all that stuff that synergizes really well with the Crusadias, so that you can just play through boards going second. And so a lot of decks don't have that attribute of already naturally being good going second. They're either like better going first or better going second, but this deck has attributes that allow it to do both, so you can side just like going second packages and still make it work. Which is just really cool for the deck. So that's going to do it for me here, guys. I'm kind of rambling at the end here. Sorry about that. Crusadias, man, they're really cool. If you've never seen this kind of list, feel free to try it out, definitely. And I like the deck a lot. I've also thought about trying to do like a Dogmatica Crusadia thing, just because the deck has a Link 1. It can do combo with like 2 cards. So like just playing like a Dogmatica engine just says like, even if you get disrupted, you just go Special Ecclesia, boom, like still end on the 1 or 2 disruptions just off the Dogmatica package, or you just do the combo and then still just summon the Ecclesia after everything, and get an extra 1 or 2 disruptions, which is kind of cool. I like the idea. So I'll have to look more into it and see if I really think it's worth it. But this list is really cool, and yeah, it's just where I'm at with the list and how I would play it right this second. So that's going to do it for me here, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, as always. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet and you want to see more deck profiles like this one in the future. I've got some stuff in the works. I've had stuff I've been waiting on in the mail for a minute now. So hopefully I'll get that soon and be able to get more of these profiles cranked out for you. But yeah, I love you guys. Happy New Year's, all that shenanigans, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.